Om Namah Shivaya. We're speaking about different ideas, yes, and different the importance of the scripture for you not to go crazy in the process. So disciple can go crazy at any moment. This is a rule in spiritual on the spiritual path. You can go crazy. You are all the time worshiping the guru, and all of a sudden you hate the guru, yes, and dislike the guru, and you abandon the guru and go crazy. We saw this in action, yes, sometimes yes, in the past. So it's you can go crazy at any moment. While you are at the mercy of Varnavamala, this power contracting you, you can go crazy at any moment. You start to become atheistic or something like this. All of a sudden, you don't believe in God. It's part of the human nature to go crazy. You see this in history when people went crazy completely and start to kill each other and to do things. You're saying, oh, it's those people, it's not me. No, it's about you too. You can go nuts at any moment, all of a sudden. That's why the importance of the scriptures, for you not to go, to reduce the probability to go nuts. Yes. But even like this, you can go nuts too. How would they say bonkers? You can go bonkers in slang. To go nuts is to go bonkers. You can, in Spanish, we call it chalado, but not in Argentina, chalado, in other countries, chalado. Chalado in Argentina, demente. Demente is formal. You can go demente, crazy, loco. Okay. So you need to keep your mind at bay and to be careful. Because at any moment, you go nuts. It's like this. People think that I'm joking. No, it's like this. All of a sudden, you are going in one direction, and all of a sudden, you say, no, I will go in the opposite direction. Humans are like this. All of a sudden. And you think, I knew this person. Why is he doing this? No, it's human nature. So all of a sudden, because mine is like this. For example, you don't realize that now you are moving in a way that is completely the opposite to the way you were speaking about many years ago. You realize this? That you are moving in the opposite way? It's like you are moving like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, and at the end you are going in the opposite direction. You say, what is this? It's part of the human process in the mind. So I don't know, many years ago you were defending something with passion, and now you are against, and you didn't notice. This is part of the laws controlling the human mind, the laws of ignorance. That's why we see this in, for example, with politicians, yes, the way they lie. You see, politicians, the way they lie, the way they say things, and they contradict themselves all the time. Well, this is part of our nature too. It's human nature. Contradictions, constant contradictions. We see this in politicians in this world, but it's in all people, but they don't notice it. For example, I don't know. Before I was all my life I was against marriage. Now I'm married. Do you understand me? Something like this. What is it? It's part of the human nature. You get a picture of me many years ago. The guy is completely anti-marriage, and now he's married. Why? He changed all of a sudden. The problem is when you change about God. This is the problem. When you go crazy, start to think that God is dead or the Shiva doesn't exist. No. So in order to keep your mind at bay, scriptures are very important. But even in this case, you can go nuts too. But it's minimal. You reduce the probability to some minimum. So there are a lot of insane theories in this world. Completely insane that people follow. And these theories were created by people who were disciples, but they went crazy. We know a guy like this, yes, now, creating new theories and try to be guru or whatever, yes, creating new theories, new teachings, yes. This, well, it's like this. You can be that person at any moment. You are only safe when you attain the highest state. You are only safe. The rest of the time, you can go crazy. At any moment. Change completely. Now with Shaivism, in the future with dualism. What is this? People are not conscious. So you might think, I'm reading now, you might think that I'm joking or maybe exaggerating, but I'm speaking seriously in spite of my way of expressing my teachings. I'm very funny to express my teaching, yes, but I'm speaking seriously. If you read about the story of human religions, you will become aware of why I'm speaking like that. For example, crazy. People start to invent things and never confirmed by the original teachings. All in all, the presence of the great treatises is always necessary because they contain the truth. These truths will keep your changing mind at bay. Besides, the presence of a genuine guru who can understand and explain such scriptures to you is also necessary. A true spiritual teacher is someone whose mind is always at bay and never goes the crazy way. So all the time I say the same thing. That's why Gurdjieff, in the fourth way, they say, if you are sleeping in ignorance, you have to contract a guy who is awakened. This is the guru. You have to contract a guy who is awakened. So this guy, when you start to sleep again, the guy will, yes, hey, you, wake up. So you wake up. There is another to wake up. It's with budilnik, in Russian, budilnik. You know what is budilnik? Alarm clocks. With alarm clocks, with despertadores in Spanish, despertar is to wake up, despertador, a waker, something like this in Spanish. With alarm clocks, with budilnik, you can wake up. For example, you put a budilnik with, at that time, I will read this scripture. Okay. At 6 every morning, I will read the Shiva Sutras. I will wake up again. Okay. But sometimes this budilnik, this alarm clock, can make you sleep better. You understand? This is the problem with alarm clocks. Rules. You can put rules in your life to wake up. You realize that you're sleeping in ignorance. That is not you, the real you. You realize this, yes? You are in the work, in the job, for example, working, and it's not you, this guy. You know this? Liena, you know? It's not me. It's another person. It's like having a chatbot doing for yourself. But it's not real me. When you are saying to people, oh, no, I didn't do it, but you did it. Yes. No, I didn't do it. No, please. No, I'm not like this. I'm not like that. I'm like this. I'm like that. You know that you are lying. It's not you. You pretend to be someone you are not. You saw this? You try to pretend to be perfect, to be the best. You know, you see this guy? If you didn't see this guy yet, you are ignorant, fully ignorant. It's in you. It's ego. It's called ego. You pretend to be someone who you are not. For example, I don't know. I practiced martial arts in the past, yes. But when I'm speaking with people, my ego is, I'm the best. I'm better than Steven Seagal. You know this ego. You only practice martial arts. You're not the best than Steven Seagal, but when you speak, no problem. Destroy McGregor. Who is this guy from mixed martial arts? McGregor. So destroy him with one finger. All the time, this guy in you, yes, who knows a little and pretends to know a lot, this guy is ego. You know this guy. The best. Yes, I know already. Yes, I'm in control. This guy in control. What control? Control of what? In control of life. Well, this is not you. This is a machinery created in you by life. Life, you're living in samsara, in this, for example, everybody has a different machinery. For example, Robert has a Hungarian machinery. It's different my Argentinian machinery. Argentinian machinery, I don't know, it's more emotional or more Argentinian, you know the word Argentinian, it's emotional. For a World Cup of football, they die, yes, or something like this. But Hungarian, no, it's another machine. I don't know what kind of machinery, but different. And Brazilian machinery is different in Lucas, another machinery. They have other craziness. So it's different. So I cry for something that Robert laughs at this. And I'm crying for this. Different machineries. And I'm laughing at something and Robert is crying. Different country, different machineries. But in the end, it's the same bondage for you. So all this falsehood is to try to be the best or, oh, yes, I know. You know nothing. Yes, I know. If you want to know your knowledge, go to the chatbot, this ChatGPT, and you will know your knowledge. You know nothing. Go to the ChatGPT and start to speak about different topics, and you will realize that you know nothing because the guy is omniscient almost. It's intolerable. I was speaking yesterday about economy, for example, about capitalism, about socialism, different topics, and I can follow him, but sometimes I cannot follow him because the guy is a monstrosity of knowledge. Yes? So you want to know how little you know, go to the chat GPT, sign up there and chat with the guy with artificial intelligence. I told him, I need a clock. Yesterday I told him, I need a clock in Visual Basic. He programmed a clock for me in Visual Basic. So it's intolerable. It's intolerable. So I copy this code he generated for me, and I can have a clock in Visual Basic. It's a programming language for computers. And I can have a clock in my desktop. So it's intolerable. I told him, I can convert to a .bat, and he told me, no, but you can use timeout and CLS commands. Something tolerable. So, okay, I told him, you know better. Intolerable, the guy. So I go from programming language to economy to Sanskrit. He knows about Sanskrit meter. He's so speaking a lot about Anushtup meter. With a guy like this, check your knowledge. With a guy like this. And I touch topics I know, more or less. Imagine if I touch medicine or something like the guy destroy me. It's intolerable knowledge. That's why we have this erroneous notion in us, yes, that we know. We know, yes, we know. It's erroneous, yes, we know. For example, I know about my body. It's nothing. Not even doctors know about your body. They more or less know something with a lot of endoscopies and this, and even like this, they don't know a lot. They know something. They cannot cure you. Many times they don't cure you. They give only something for you to survive, but they don't cure you some sickness. I don't know why. For example, in my case, they never cure me. All the time they give me something to survive. But all the time like this. So even doctors don't know completely the body. So imagine you with this body, yes, and the presence of God in the body because God controls all this. Knowing every process in the liver, in the pancreas, in every place, and generating the fluids for every place and the hormones for every place. Intelligent. So we cannot deny God. It's obvious. It's controlling the body for us. How? Million processes at the same time. We have a chatbot here in our brain, yes, controlling everything. So you want to know your ignorance, go to the chatbot and speak about topic you don't know, and you will see what it is. And great. Yesterday I told the chatbot, but you are socialist. No, he told me. I'm not socialist. But I understand that some ideas are okay in socialism. Something like this. The guy is crazy. Because he told me some theory about inflation. So I was angry with this theory because I'm capitalist. I'm more capitalist, not a socialist. So you are socialist. No, 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 no. It's like a person. It's crazy. Even I agree. I tell her, I tell him, thank you for your time. Something like that. He reply, yes, you're welcome. It's like a person. So I want this guy with me in the future in my computer all the time. A guy like this with you assisting you in your ignorance. So it's intolerable to understand the scope of your ignorance. Intolerable. One way to understand this, for example, is to contemplate this situation. For example, you and a woman are the only survivors with a few children only, a few children and a woman and you. The only survivors of humankind after a cataclysm, it's a catastrophe. What's the knowledge you will pass to the new generations of children about humankind? What knowledge you will pass? How to make a bridge, for example. How to, nothing. How to make a power plant. Nothing. We don't know nothing about this. How to create infrastructure for cities. Hot water for the city, for example. Nothing. So the notion that we know is a pest. And you have to remove, to eradicate this notion forever from you because it's wrong. When you realize that you don't know, at this time you start to know because you go for knowledge. When you don't know, you go for knowledge. But ego knows all the time. He knows. He understands perfectly. I understand you. Yes, I understand you. I hate this word understand. For example, I cannot tell a person I understand you. It's like, because it's not real. When you understand someone, you say nothing. How to understand? To understand a person, you have to be in the exact position of that person. The same, internally, the same position. Sometimes this happens, yes, between two people. And they meet each other there, inside. You know this? When you are with a person, with Urban happens sometimes with her, that she's in the exact position like me. So I realize. Because there are two universes. One is external universe, where we are near each other. Yes, I'm near Guruma, I'm near the sweet baby, I'm near this, nearby Raman. No, I'm not near Raman, very far from Raman, tolerable. But I'm near, but the body is internally, there is another universe, and we are far from each other. For example, Lucas is in Brazil far from me, but maybe inside he's near me, or not, or we are around. So sometimes you can be, this is obvious, this is 101, yes, it's elementary. That you can be near a person physically, but not internally. You can be completely separate from the person. You can be alone with people, yes? For example, myself in a discotheque, for example, dancing, all people there, like this. I'm in the middle there, imagine myself there, I don't know what to tell them. And completely alone with people in a discotheque, with those people moving the bodies. I don't know what is the meaning of all this. And I'm with Tantraloca there, alone, completely alone. So I'm you can be near outside but far inside, and vice versa. Sometimes you coincide with the person, so you can understand that person because you are in the exact position of that person, but internally, not outside. Internally. What is to be in the position of another person? To realize, for example, you want to understand a woman, yes, understand a woman, you want to understand your wife, you want to understand your mother, you have to be a woman in your mind, inside you, to realize what that person is feeling, because they feel different from men. You understand this? A different feeling, different way to see life, different. It's very difficult to do this. You have to be a woman for some time inside to realize what that woman feels like a woman in front of you, a man. You understand? When you can do this, it's super difficult. You can understand, especially how hard it is to be with you, how difficult it is to be with you. So when you start to understand, you stop criticizing, because understanding is opposite to criticizing. You criticize because you don't understand. Speaking about relationship with people. When you understand, you don't criticize because you are in the position of that person. And from the position of that person is right. So if that person is stubborn, the other day we had some situation with Guru Maya. If that person is stubborn, you don't understand why that person is stubborn. You want to change only that person. Don't be stubborn. No. When you realize that you're stubborn the same like that person in other things, at that time you connect with her. You understand? I don't know. That person is stubborn about something. Fixed idea. And you're stubborn about something else, but you don't realize this. You think that you are flexible, not stubborn. You are super open-minded. But no, you are stubborn too, but in other things. When you realize, you coincide with that person. So you understand why he is stubborn or she is stubborn. Because you are stubborn in other things, about other things. You understand me? So to understand is the opposite to criticize, to discuss, to say I understand, it's not about it. It's internal. To force, you're gonna change people forcing. It's useless. People will do it or not. But it's not by force. It doesn't work. Except there is a situation, life and death situation, where you have to force a person to save his life or something. But in general, it's not working. Yes, in general. Violence is not working. Pretty useless. For example, I cannot teach you by violence. Hey, learn. You are Shiva by force. It is impossible to teach ladies. Violence is useless. Violence comes from the times of our ancestors. Yes, they were all the time killing each other and aggressive. But now we're in 21st century, so some changes in our behavior we need. But no, they continue to kill each other. But it's time for another way. If you want violence, okay, practice martial arts and enjoy your violence in a practice, yes, with other people like you. But in practice, in life, it's useless, except for defending yourself. Nothing else, but to attack. Why to attack? Why you need to attack someone? Because you dislike him. No, you can speak. So you don't need violence. Now I say this and I go to prison because I killed someone. It's typical in human nature to be like this. I'm speaking about this and next I go and kill someone. It's typical. It's a part of our nature. We are completely contradictory humans. Completely contradictory all the time doing the opposite. And that's why you see, I don't know, priests accused of horrible sexual sin, yes, or now in this world. You say, how is this possible? A priest, a man of God, what is the, because the contradiction, the constant contradictions. And nobody escapes contradiction. Okay, all in all, the presence of the great treatises is always necessary because they contain the truth. Already read this. Spiritual, you need to contract a person to awake, to wake you up, to awake you. This person has to be all the time awakened, or at least awakened when he can sleep when it's not dangerous for you. Do you understand? But when it's dangerous for you, he's awakened and warning you. Don't sleep. Hey, you. So you wake up again. You understand? But he's sleeping with you. No, it's useless. Most teachers are sleeping with the disciples. That's why they are useless. But anyway, this guru, he's not inert like a rock. It's not a rock. He feels pleasure and pain like the rest of human beings, but he's not vanquished by those experiences. Namely, he's able to keep his sanity in the middle of madness. So it's not that he has a pain in the body and he will abandon God. No. He continues with God, with pain and God. Do you understand? He never goes crazy. Oh, God is dead because look at this pain in me. No, he's not crazy. But he has pain too, like you. He's like a firm pillar of wisdom to all spiritual aspirants who are desirous of being released from bondage. So he all the time, he keeps the discourse more or less the same. You are Shiva. It's not that all of a sudden he tells you, no, you are not Shiva. Look at you, you are not Shiva. Sorry, I was mistaken. No, he's all the time with, you are Shiva, you are the Lord, blah, blah, all the time. So you wake up again. You understand? But he continues with his life, and it's moving life. So he moves with life, but anyway, he's all the time in the same direction with Shiva. Shiva never loses his face. For example, I cannot lose my face. I cannot lose my face. I don't know. Try sometimes to lose my face. Oh, I don't have money, so I need to lose my face. No, I don't lose. It's all the time the same. It's stupid to lose your face because you don't have money, for example, or because you have bad luck, or because. But disciples lose their face. It's common experience to lose face. It's very common. As you learn how to keep your mind at bay, the odds to gain real wisdom are in your favor. You know what is at bay? Is in control. To keep your mind in control, at bay. Why at bay? Because it's like keeping your ships at inside the bay. Yes, the bay. You know the bay, the coast, like the bay, like this. Bahia in Spanish. In Portuguese, suppose it's bahia too. Bay, at bay. To keep all your ship at bay, under control. Until a spiritual aspirant gains solid wisdom, he's always in danger of going the wrong way, led by his insane mind. And I'm not joking at all. I have experience with this, with disciples going crazy, completely crazy. You say, what happened to this guy? Yes. Well, it's like this. Confusion reigns supreme among ordinary people and many spiritual aspirants. The power of ideas and concepts is beyond understanding. A stupid but powerful idea could shake the world to its very roots. You know this, yes? A stupid but powerful idea. Like Hitler in World War II, yes, he started to spread before World War II the idea that the Jews were bad. Stupid idea, yes, what? The Jews are bad. The Jews are bad, we have to kill them, yes. Look at what happened. And stupid. Completely stupid because nobody is bad because of his race. You are bad or good because inside you are bad or good, not because of your race. It's not I'm white, I'm Argentinian, I'm good. No, I can be bad too. Oh, I'm Jew, I'm bad. No. So it's a pretty stupid idea. But anyway, this idea was powerful in Germany at that time. We say in Spanish, prendió. Prendió is gain power, and look at the disaster. Holocaust, disaster, killing million and million people. So any stupid but powerful idea could shake the world to its very roots. Now we have a lot of stupid ideas around. I don't want to say anything about this stupid idea because some people will attack me because they are influenced by these ideas now, yes? So if I say, look, this is a stupid idea, they will tell me, what? The guru is against this idea, so I will say nothing. But it's a completely stupid idea. Many ideas like this are moving around. If I will tell you in private, so people won't attack me because a lot of people influenced by these stupid ideas, and they live like this. Entire countries like this. Even sadhakas, spiritual aspirants, fall very often prey to ridiculous ideas and concepts, since they do not have the right antidote for that kind of poison. Now I will analyze some foolish ideas which are taken very seriously though. For example, ideas you know, yes. Every person has a different goal in life. This is one idea. It's a common idea. You have a goal, I have a goal. Ivan has a goal. Raman has no goal. And Liena has a goal. This is a common concept that looks cool. Kruta, yes, cool. But it's completely stupid. For example, your goal in life is being a carpenter. Or your goal in life is being an actor. Or being a pianist. You can write your own list. Well, this idea is apparently harmless and true, because when you behold the world, you see carpenters, actors, pianists, etc. Anyway, there is a problem here. To be a carpenter, an actor, a pianist, etc. is not a goal, but a role. This is a constant mistake in people. It's a role. People usually mistake the former for the latter. A goal is something you attain and it's never gone. On the contrary, you cannot keep your role of carpenter, actor, pianist forever, so you die. At the same time, you cannot be a carpenter, an actor, a pianist, and so on all day long. For example, you have to sleep at some time. So you become a sleeper. This is your role. Well, but this is not a goal either, but another role. This confusion goes on, and you see how people play role after role without ever attaining any real goal. Most people are like this, they go nowhere. Most people. Sad, but it's like this. They go nowhere. Another idea. Life goal varies from person to person. This is another erroneous concept. Life goal is always the same. The goal in life is always the same. It does not vary at all across all the people. Let me explain myself. If you ask someone about his goal in life, he might say, to help people, or to create things, or even to give birth to children, or else. A religious person will say that it's to behold God, etc. Nevertheless, those things are not the goal of life. What is it then? Freedom. This is the goal of life. Because if you are not free, you cannot truly help anyone, you cannot create anything which is truly valuable, you cannot give birth to quite a holy person, etc. If you are in bondage, all of your actions will happen in your jail, in your prison. Be it small or big, the jail. This being the case, what's the point of all that fuss about helping others, creating things, procreating, etc.? Because all this will always be related to living in a prison. So what is the real goal? Freedom. That's why in Trika vision we say, when you attain the freedom of Shiva, the real freedom, you attain the real goal in life. And this goal is all the time the same for all people. Some people could say that because they live in a free country, they are free. Yes? You know, Americans, for example. But that's not real freedom. Real freedom amounts to not being disturbed by all that is happening to your mind and body. If you can keep your eye consciousness free from changes despite your mind and body are exposed to all types of pleasure and pain, then you are genuinely free. If you cannot, you are in bondage. That is, you are still attached to mind and body. You still associate yourself with mind and body. That's why Janaka, the famous King Janaka, you know Janaka? Janaka means the procreator, the generator, Janaka. He had a leg in fire, and another leg was given a massage by one of his queens. Pleasure. Another leg in fire. So he showed this to people. I am the undisturbed by pleasure or pain. This is a real master. And no, this does not mean that a free person will tell his dentist, no anesthesia because I'm free. Yes, it's not stupid. Do you understand? He's not a fool. And if a tsunami is coming in his direction, he will run away too, like the rest of people, because he's not a fool. However, he will keep the same bliss as always. His inner eye consciousness does not even move a millimeter. He's never in trouble like the rest of people. Why? Because the free one does not associate his real life with mind and body. As a result, all that happens to these two does not happen to himself. For example, this apartment is on fire, yes? All of a sudden. Destroy all apartments. So we go out with Guruma there. And I suppose that she will be very worried about the situation. What to do now? What will we do now? And I will be happy anyway. This is the difference. Inside. Outside can be like this. Oh my God, I lost the apartment. But inside I'm happy. This is the difference. So you don't go negative way. You don't go the negative way. You don't become negative about the situations. You are happy inside. But nobody can realize if you are happy or not happy inside. It's only about you, your experience. So you know what's happening inside you. Freedom is generally taken for granted, but it's something to be gained. You know what is to gain? Yes, to get, to obtain. It's a real goal of life. If you constantly fall prey to spiritual ignorance, you are not free. If you are not free, what is the point then? A great deal of people have fought for freedom. Have, not has. For freedom in the past. Fight for it at present and will fight for freedom in the future. But this freedom is only related to their bodies. On the other hand, they are the whole time being vanquished by their minds. Some beautiful or horrible thought just come up, and those people think that those thoughts belong to them. Consequently, they get the good and bad fruits of such thoughts. They cannot escape the process of identification with their minds. They can say whatever, but in the end, their minds put them to submission. They are helpless, really. And if these people are spiritual aspirants, they know to a certain point at least they are their own jail. You can see this tragedy happening over the centuries. Get a history book and read. It's always the same human madness. That is, people fully identify with crazy thoughts. If you read biographies, you mostly read about events that happen to the bodies and minds of people, not to their real life. They're speaking what happened to their egos, to their bodies, but not to the real life. Have you read a biography dealing with someone's real life? No. That's why when I got liberation, I realized that Shiva in me, myself, was completely intact. It's just amazing. Never touched by any experience. Nothing. Oh, I had this bad experience in life, nothing touching. Oh, I was a teenager. He was never a teenager. Oh, I was a child, never a child. When I saw this intact essential nature in me, I was so surprised. You can die of a surprise. You know that when you receive a surprise that is very hard, your heart can stop. Yes. Or you receive a scare very hard and your heart stops. Well, it's the same in liberation. The surprise that I was never affected by anything was so massive that I could die. Could leave the body immediately. Nothing touched you. So when you will get liberation, you will realize, remember my word, that nothing touched you. Nothing affected your Shivahood. It's completely untouched, unaffected. And it's so different from ego, that it's impossible. It's impossible. Impossible to say, what is this? What is this? What is this? See? So, this is me. How is it possible that I was never affected by anything? If I was affected, I had this trouble, this problem. No, nothing. He's completely encapsulated in his own reality, living there, unaffected by anything. It's like someone watching TV, yes, he's never affected by the bullets on the screen. Yes, he can think that he's affected, but he's not affected. At any moment, he can escape from the screen. It's the same with Shiva. That's why he's so great. When you have this revelation, you can start to do, because you have a real I, alive. Ego is dead. As the vast majority of people are totally identified with their bodies and mind, they really think that they are only body and mind. Their real I remains in them always, but as they do not realize him, it's as if the real I was not in them at all. They live their lives this way, and mother ignorance thrives over and over again. If you do nothing to get your real I, you will die like this, in Arnava Mala. These malas never go, forever. Even in the case of the people who should be shedding light in this world, for example, scientists, they are instead adding only darkness to darkness. For example, they say that we are stardust. They say this, yes, that we are dust of the star. Again, the same moronic identification with body and mind. The body is a stardust, not us. It's materialistic again. Because we is not the real I, which is only one and not many. Hence, we is never applicable to him. He's not we, he's I. But again, what? The body and the mind again? Yes. So this is the truth. We are not a stardust. We are the self, the real I, and the entire universe rests in one corner of his immensity. This is what realized at the time of liberation. We do not come from the sun or any other star, but rather these very stars have come out of our own self. In fact, there is no we, because the self is only I. Therefore, I am not stardust. I am the self, the real I, and the entire universe rests in one corner of his immensity. I do not come from the sun or any other star, but rather this very star have come out of my own self. This is the real truth. This is a good idea. To come to be a stardust is a negative idea, because stick you again with the body and the mind again, materialistic. So apparently it's a cool idea. Oh, I'm a stardust. No, it's a negative idea. You are more than this, more than matter. This is the real truth, and this is uplifting. The idea that one is a stardust is only applicable to the body, which is material like the stars, but not to the real self of all. This is so elementary in spirituality that it's just laughable to have to teach people about it. If the scientists still cannot understand that one is not the body or the mind, I wonder what kind of liberators are they? They are just pushing humankind down and down. They are agents of spiritual ignorance. For instance, with all those ideas that we are insignificant in the universe. Again, it's our bodies, again with the bodies, which are material, which are insignificant in the universe, not our real self, who is not material. The universe has emerged from the self and not vice versa. This materialistic Moronism is endless, like spiritual ignorance itself. With moronic ideas, you cannot advance to the goal of life, freedom. You need ideas which elevate you. That's why Muktaran, my guru, all the time say, consider yourself to be perfect, to be full. Don't consider yourself to be a sinner, to be low. It's wrong. But ego says, I'm doing bad actions. I'm not perfect. So this again, the ego and mind and body. For instance, I am the self of the universe. This is the Shuddha Vikalpa. This is a pure thought. The mind and body are not my glorious self. The entire universe rests in one corner of myself, etc. These kind of ideas are leading somewhere. The ideas coming from the never-ending identification with mind and body lead nowhere. Another crazy idea that is very common is to live means to exist, while to die means to stop existing. This concept looks reasonable too. You commonly hear someone saying, she stopped existing. Well, it's just a way of speaking, of course, and not the truth. The truth is that life and death are only related to the physical body. Again, the physical body everywhere, yes, all the time with the body. They are not even related to the mind, let alone the self. The mind doesn't die when the body dies. People are often confused by those concepts because spiritual ignorance is very strong. I could quote scriptures to back up my affirmation that the real I never ceases to exist. But I will not do that now. I will just resort to your own experience. Tell me, when did you stop from existing in the past? When you did stop existing in the past? Tell me. Your feeling. What is your feeling? Never. I exist all the time. This is your feeling. Why I know? Because it's my feeling. Next, the mind appears and says, yes, but before my birth, maybe I didn't exist. No, you don't feel. I exist. Because that existence is essential in you, in Shiva. So you exist. And in the future, I will exist too. What is it? I will stop existing. The body will die. I said in the past because at present you have to exist or you could not be reading this. You can ponder over the question for eons. Still, you will never perceive a moment when you did not exist. You can say, well, before I was born, I didn't exist. Anyway, you feel somehow that that is not completely true. I'm absolutely sure of it. Why? Because I know for sure that the self is existing itself. As everybody is the self, everybody exists forever. There was never anybody who ceased to exist. Only the body died, but not the self. However, people are puzzled by death because they see other people dying and suppose that they will die too. But that is only true as for their physical bodies, regarding their physical bodies. Again, the same identification with the body. Yes, it's like a pest pervading everywhere. Therefore, if they consider themselves to be mere physical bodies, they will accordingly be scared of death. If you think that you're the body, you will be scared of death. A lot of fear. Nevertheless, as they are inherently the self, Shiva himself, they can never stop existing. Because someone must exist in order to experience death. How to experience death without existing? You cannot say, I do not exist, but at the same time I'm dying. This is absurd. What is the problem then? The root of the problem is the concept of life being equal to existence and death being equal to non-existence. This is not true, obviously. During life and death, someone has to exist in order to experience both. There is no non-existent ever. Nobody can behold non-existence, because the one beholding always exists. In this manner, non-existence can never be experienced. There is always someone. Who is this? The self, Shiva, and this self is you. Why are you not happy because you are immortal? Why you are not dancing now because you are immortal? Ignorance. If you are foolish enough, you can meditate on the self for centuries without realizing him. There are people doing this. Meditate for centuries. Yes, as it were, to speak. As to speak. And they never realize anything. Meditate and meditate and meditate. But if you are intelligent enough, you realize him at once. The self is so obvious that the matter of people being deluded by spiritual ignorance is just hilarious. It's laughable. The self is everybody, but at the same time, only a few can realize him. How can this mad thing be happening? He's everybody, but only one can realize him. But we cannot say this, because he's everybody. You understand me? You cannot ask him, hey, Shiva, why only one person is getting liberation when you are everybody? You cannot ask the self this. You are unfair. You are giving liberation only to him and not to me. Why you are doing this? You cannot ask the self this. Why? Because he will ask you, what everybody are you speaking about? He's not conscious of everybody. You understand? That's why when you say grace is coming only to one person and giving liberation, but not to everybody. So from your viewpoint in bondage, you ask, why that person and not me? Yes, from bondage you speak. But from the viewpoint of the self, there is nothing like one person and you. It's only him. So you cannot ask him this. Because in his experiences, there is no movement of grace. This is very subtle, very difficult to understand. In your experience, there is movement of grace to a person, yes? Someone near you get liberation, but not you. So from your experience, there was a movement from grace to Shiva, to that person, and not to you. So you start to protest and you lose your faith in him. But when you ask him, he will tell you, what everybody are you speaking about? I'm alone. I never moved my grace to anyone. Who is anyone? Who is someone? You understand? There is no movement of grace at the highest level. Shiva Shakti are in peace. At peace, in peace, absolutely. No movement. The question about movement arises later after Maya. When you see movement of grace to one person, but not to you, oh, God is unfair. You are envious, jealous about that person. Look at Ramana Maharshi, such a great sage, and look at me, this crap. Well, you are envious, yes. But from the viewpoint of Shiva, he never gave grace to Ramana Maharshi, especially. Nothing more. So what is this? I'm completely coherent with the scripture. At the highest level, there is no movement of grace because there is no one to move to. the grace to him. It's only him. Where to move? That's why there is no reason for him to give you grace. Apparently it's your actions. No. There is a movement, not in him. After Maya, there is a movement. But in him, nothing moves. And you receive grace without any reason. Completely undeserved. Without any reason, you receive grace. You understand this? That you receive grace without any reason. The Guru loves you, yes? Why the Guru loves you? Without any reason. You do nothing for the Guru to love you. Where a man, no. It's a special case. For example, Lena, I love Lena. Why I love Lena? She did nothing to me. For me to love her, especially. She didn't practice meditation for 30 years. No. She didn't worship me. Never. Why I love her? It's without any reason. The Guru is Shiva. But the Guru said, I love her. I like her. Look at her. I want to give her grace. I want to help her. Why? It's undeserved. You did nothing. In the same way, when I received grace, I was with the mantra card, with my Guru, yes? And I did nothing for him. I never worshipped him before. I never did anything for him. Why he gave me grace? It's undeserved. It's a movement only after Maya. But in him, there is no movement. That's why you cannot, how to say, increpar in Spanish. I don't know how to say in English. Increpar. You cannot rebuke. You cannot rebuke Shiva. Rebuke in Russian is uprikat. Uprikat. You cannot go to Shiva with your reprensao. You cannot go to him with another language. Rendre utashitas. You cannot go to him with all this protest. Why he's giving to that person and not to me? Yes, I don't believe in you. No, because I have no idea about it. What person? First, he had no idea who are you. Who are you? Tutti. Who are you? I'm Gabriel. Who is Gabriel? No idea. He's like Shiva. Great Shiva. Shiva gave me grace, but he had no idea about my existence. That's why it was the point to protest with him. He doesn't know that I exist. You can tell me I'm joking. No, I'm not joking. No, he's in his circle. Paramashiva knows. Shiva doesn't know. Shiva is. Paramashiva, his supreme aspect with Shakti, he knows. But Shiva, pure consciousness, doesn't know. He doesn't perceive any person. He's only himself person. Transcendental. Oh my God, so many myths. You understand this? Oh, I'm very sad. I'm very sad. But you understand that he's undeserved. Undeserved. Okay. So how can this mad thing be happening? Why only a few people can realize Shiva and not all people, if all of them are Shiva? Through his Shakti or power, this can happen. He decides to become a moron and spend his entire life speaking nonsenses and doing stupid action. He's like it. He's so powerful that out of his free will, he becomes the king of fools. His freedom is so absolute that he can be absolutely wise or foolish. There's no end to his freedom. For instance, his power has been killing him for zillions of years by means of meteorites, diseases, arrows, cannonballs, bullets, atomic bombs, etc. He has been killed for eons, but anyway, he still exists like the newest reality. He was killed by meteorites, by gamma rays in the past, his life. He was killed million and million times by Shakti, but anyway, he's the newest reality. His power has beat, shattered, shot him, and so on, in all possible ways, but Shiva is undefeatable. He's all the time there, meditating on himself, alive in everyone. You understand? Okay, for today is enough. Page 68 for me to remember next Asanga. For today is enough. We'll continue next Asanga with this interesting topic. Okay, see you soon. Om Namah Shivaya.